Can you be a fan of Fisker and MKBHD? Yes, I'm living proof, and I'm not an MKBHD hater either to answer that question. Would a hater have both? I mean, both. I own this car. I'm not a short seller or a shill or a sheep. It's right here. In fact, I have a sport trim. Look up how hard that is to get. And I'm outside because it's raining, flooding, in fact, just to prove that the day that the video came out is the day that I am breaking it down. And that's gonna matter later. Stay tuned. And even as an owner, I know Fisker is doomed. This is a fact, not an opinion. Would your company do a fire sale if they weren't going out of business? But we're here to fact check the most recent video from Autofocus and see how true it is. Spoiler, if you like Fisker, you're gonna be mad. But at this point, aren't we all mad already? I'm gonna go inside now.
And if you know this channel, you know I'm not here to waste your time. Let's jump right in.
So in order to get this newest big 2.0 update, Fisker has to send a technician out to you, to every single one of these cars, to manually update them to get them on the newest version of the software.
If this video was shot, let's say 2-3 weeks ago, this is actually true. So this one gets a partially true. They disabled the portal. The Magna techs had to ride along with the Fisker techs to manually update cars because of the braking event. It says brake system malfunction, and when it happens, you are coming to a stop, and when you finish your stop, the car puts itself into park. In order to go back to drive, you have to take your foot off the brake, press it back onto the brake, then you get your welcome chime, you can put it back into drive and continue on. People with 2.0 Part 1 only are getting this. I have not experienced it again since I got my second part for the sport model version of 2.0. People that had the first installment of 2.0 had a lot of problems. That was me. My car was delivered with 2.0. Fisker techs had to take Magna techs with them as people were having these 2.0 problems and push the rest of the update manually. Because in order to receive it over the air, you have to have a certain state of charge on your battery. And a lot of people were scared to drive them after these events happened. But yes, for a period of time, this was true. Why did the Magna techs have to ride along? Because they were the only people that had the actual software update package. It was disabled over the air completely. So because we know this is not a video that was recorded and published today, this was true at the time Marquez made the video. It's just not true anymore. In fact, I got part 2 and part 3 of 2.0 over the air. The video currently playing shows me stranded at Kroger after I received the update because it needed to go to sleep before I could put it in drive again. But the car hasn't finished its boot up or shut down, and I've already reset it. It still doesn't run. So here we are. Literal proof it can be delivered over the air.
Wouldn't do anything, and I have to unlock a few times to still get into the vehicle. That didn't fix. So I still had many issues with walking up and having to wake up the car and unlock and get in. Key fob, not fixed.
I'm at the Target. Let's do a key fob range test. This one is true. The key fob has more range, but it doesn't work unless the car is awake. More on that later, which means you have to press the unlock button to wake it up and then unlock it. That's still a problem. That's why I do this. I was totally sick of this thing being unreliable, so this is what I do now. Works every time. Lock works too. I don't know if Fisker originally intended it to unlock when you walked up to the vehicle because they originally intended for your phone to work as a key, but I figure you gotta take it out of your pocket anyway.
The car takes a long time to boot up. This big vertical screen in the middle, you can just watch a boot animation for it feels like a solid 60 seconds while the car turns on. You can drive it while it's booting up, and if you reverse, it actually does flip the cameras on, but it's weird that it takes that long now to boot up.
This sucks and is true, but it's actually a solution to a problem, a poor solution, but a solution nonetheless. These cars like to wake up while they are parked and ping the cloud, or at least that's what I'm calling it, because the car didn't know when to go to sleep and wake back up before 2.0. For a quick explanation as to why. And there's a setting in the UI that is new with 2.0 that allows you to decide when the car goes to a deep sleep. That's why he had to shoot this part at night, because he had to have it go to sleep to be able to film the boot up animation. You can decide how long you want it to wait before it goes to sleep in the settings. So this is standby time. Save battery. By reducing vehicle standby time, you may experience a slower boot up after vehicle turns off. Default is 24 hours. So this is phantom drain mitigation. 24 hours is where I have it set. So if I was to go to 30 seconds or 10 minutes, the vehicle would remain on standby for that period of time and then go to sleep. But because it goes to sleep, I may experience slower boot up after the vehicle turns off. So it solves the problems the car used to have, waking up, pinging the cloud, and then maybe engaging California mode or opening the rear hatch. And if you were subscribed to this channel, you'd know this already. And now instead of coming back to your car with version 1 and the hatch is open, now you have to watch a boot up animation instead. Like I said, poor solution, but a solution nonetheless. And because Marquez doesn't own the car, I'll also note that only an owner who did the research and lived with the car for a long period of time would have figured this out.
It kind of wobbles back and forth. That still doesn't allow me to take the parking brake off without my seatbelt on, which leads me to believe it's kind of a feature.
This is not true, but it was purposely inserted to generate comments. I'll admit, when I took delivery, I didn't know this either, but the fact that I illustrated that I didn't know it generated more comments than almost anything else since I've taken delivery of the vehicle. So totally untrue, but good show, Marquez. Extremely well thought out. All you have to do is press the parking brake release and you can continue, whether your seatbelt's on or not.
This front screen in front of the driver turning completely red or completely blue based on acceleration or deceleration is also unchanged. It still flashes back and forth between red and blue, which is a bit distracting, especially at night.
This is totally true and totally annoying, and I agree with him 100%.
So I was able to pair my phone first try. It's now connected super easily, and it has not cut out on me once in the week that I've been using it.
No notes at all here.
Now there's a tab in the top middle that says Solar Sky. And you jump in there and you actually get a live look at, well, it doesn't tell you much actually. It says solar rate is 32%. Doesn't tell you wattage or exactly what's happening, but okay.
All of this is accurate, and now you know that if you live in the Northeast, you can get a whopping 300 miles a year for free with your Fisker Ocean Extreme or One solar panel, if you park it outside all the time.
You get this H here, hill hold works. Brake hold, thankfully works.
So far, this is a pretty accurate review.
If you go over a bump, it will stop the regen and then re-continue after the bump. So if I'm decelerating towards a stoplight and a stopped car and I go over a bump, it kind of feels like the car lurches forward and continues and may actually feel like you're going to hit the car in front of you. That's not fixed.
My car was delivered with 2.0 and it has happened to me, so this is true. And right here's my least favorite part about the car overall.
They all deliver what feels like the same amount of power, just with a delay.
I don't like Earth mode, I don't like Fun mode, I don't like Hyper mode. I've tried it now, I don't like it. Earth mode with medium regen is the only way I can stand to drive this car, and I have to set it manually every time I turn it on.
Beeping and issues and beeps and bops that I was getting from the ADAS systems were greatly reduced. Not fully to zero, but mostly reduced in a way that it's not painfully annoying to just drive around anymore.
I don't even consider this a problem anymore. Definitely true. And this next one is true too.
You will be able to be plugged in while updating. You couldn't do that before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds to rotate the UI and be usable again. If you twist this knob right here, this door opens and there's a slot for under seat storage.
And finally,
does this even matter? Does this improvement to a company that may not exist in a couple of days even matter anymore?
Ask 5,000 Fisker Ocean owners and I'm sure that they will say yes, 2.0 is a big deal. But as far as Fisker as a company, it should have been delivered with 4.0. And whether or not you believe Marquez was the reason that Fisker died, you really got to go back 2 years on the stock price and look, and you'll see that it's been falling the entire time. This company was underfunded and poorly managed with a comedy of errors along the way, with each stupid decision increasing the speed of the reduction in company value. And if you want Marquez to do a better review the first time, well, let him be first. Take some notes from Rivian, will you? I did a breakdown of Marquez's last review of the Ocean as well, very reluctantly and significantly after the fact. And then based on your feedback, I explained why it was done the way it was done. Here's those bullet points. Omit one extremely important fact. 2.0 now goes out over the air. Dramatize a feature. That boot up is completely meaningless. And of course, one blatant, purposeful inaccuracy. You can't move the car if your seatbelt isn't unbuckled. He followed the exact same rules that he follows in every car review video. And if you didn't believe me before about this,
how many times do we have to teach you this?
if you like this video and you think more people should know whether or not Marquez was accurate in this review based on actual evidence, smash that like button for me and join Patreon or become a YouTube member for early access to videos. Subscribe for more. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey! Smash the like button!
Thank you.